There's a unique quality to individuals who came of age during the 1970s that psychology helps explain. If your childhood unfolded in that decade, your development occurred in an extraordinary period marked by expansive freedom paired with authentic accountability. What's particularly striking is how many from that generation observe today's youth with a quiet understanding, not judgment, but recognition of experiences that shaped them profoundly. They lived through a window of time that's impossible to replicate today. An era so liberating and formative that years later, people often reflect. Those were the golden days of childhood, or we had freedoms kids today can only dream of. Many fondly recall simpler joys, like drinking from the garden hose and running wild until dusk. It built something special in us. What exactly set the 1970s apart? And how did those experiences wire your mind in ways that set you apart now? Drawing from developmental psychology, including Mary Ainsworth's pioneering work on attachment theory, we can see how that era's parenting styles often fostered secure attachment. Ainsworth's research, building on John Bowlby's ideas, showed that responsive yet independence-encouraging caregivers create a secure base. Children feel safe to explore the world confidently, returning for support when needed. In the 1970s, this balance was common. Parents provided emotional security while granting vast freedom, leading to adults with remarkable resilience and self-reliance. The first strength is independent initiative and creative problem-solving. It often began with a familiar parental nudge. Go outside and figure out what to do, or I'll give you chores. Complaining about boredom quickly taught kids to self-entertain. Research on unstructured play reveals that children who invent their own games build superior executive functions, like planning, flexibility, and innovation, along with heightened creativity. Without constant adulty, direction, or scheduled activities, 70s kids crafted whole worlds from imagination. You'd roam neighborhoods on bikes for hours, dive into novels for entire afternoons, or construct elaborate hideouts in nearby fields or woods. You might think back, I was always busy, reading adventure stories, biking to new spots, or just dreaming up games. That freedom sparked my imagination. Your developing brain mastered creating meaning from open time, a skill less common in today's overscheduled lives. This foundation explains not just enduring creativity, but also an uncanny composure under pressure. That poise stems from the next strength, realistic risk evaluation, and emotional resilience. Growing up meant scaling tall trees, biking sans helmets, playful roughhousing, or experimenting with fireworks under minimal supervision. Every tumble, scratch, or narrow escape calibrated your sense of danger. Developmental studies on adventurous or risky play demonstrate that such experiences enhance accurate threat perception and reduce chronic anxiety in adulthood. Your brain distinguished true peril from thrilling challenges through direct involvement, not simulations or overprotective interventions. You earned badges of bravery in the form of scars with epic tales attached. This explains why you can step into high-stakes situations calmly, methodically addressing issues while others freeze. But the depth goes further, something younger generations might struggle to grasp fully. You possess a profound ease with introspective solitude. Hours passed alone in your room with records spinning, daydreaming in backyards, or wandering solo without constant pings from devices. Pre-digital upbringings, per studies comparing eras, correlate with greater comfort in quiet reflection and lower anxiety during alone time. Modern experiments show many prefer minor discomfort over silent contemplation, but 70s kids learned early that solitude isn't a crisis, it's restorative. Boredom became a gateway to inner richness, not something to flee. Your mind adapted without craving non-stop input, explaining why you handle delays, like traffic or waiting rooms, with equanimity, without reaching for distractions. The fourth strength is disciplined patience in an impulsive world. Favorites aired weekly, no on-demand marathons. Film photos developed days later, building anticipation. Reaching friends meant dialing rotary phones and hoping someone answered. Classic delayed gratification research like the marshmallow studies links waiting experiences to stronger self-control, healthier relationships, and professional achievement. Your childhood was an extended lesson in valuing future rewards over instant ones, a training modern instant access culture often bypasses. This is why fleeting pleasures don't hook you as deeply. You've internalized deeper satisfaction from earned outcomes. Tying it all together is authentic self-directed autonomy. By age 8 or 9, you'd head out at dawn with one directive: home when streetlights glow. No GPS tracking, no check-ins. You'd cycle to distant streams, adventure in untamed areas, or accept impromptu treats from kind neighbors, norms that feel unthinkable now. Studies on independent childhood mobility show it cultivates robust intrinsic motivation, sharp judgment, and adaptive decision-making. You navigated real-world choices, faced outcomes, and honed competence without hovering guidance. Parents acted as firm guides, not constant companions, trusting your growing capabilities. This wiring lets you strategize, pivot, and lead independently today. When modern life feels alienating, recognize you're not obsolete. You embody fading strengths. What seems detached is true self-sufficiency. Comfort and quiet appears withdrawn but reflects profound inner resources. Patience mistaken for indifference is actually mastery of impulses. You thrived in a childhood that might raise eyebrows today, yet it forged unbreakable foundations. Many proudly say, "I'm grateful for that upbringing," or the 70s were peak childhood freedom. For one irreplaceable moment, kids balanced wild exploration with genuine growth, a secure base enabling bold independence, per Ainsworth's insights. Mary Ainsworth's strange situation experiments highlighted how secure attachment, emotional availability plus encouragement of exploration, produces confident, resilient explorers. 1970s parenting often mirrored this. Available support without stifling, freedom, yielding adults with balanced autonomy. Expanding on self-directed problem-solving, unstructured time-forced invention. Without screens or apps, entertainment emerged from surroundings. Sticks became swords, empty lots hosted epic battles. Longitudinal data links such play to advanced executive functions, better focus, impulse control, and innovative thinking. Adults from low-structure eras often excel in dynamic careers needing quick adaptation. One study compared play types. Kids with free outdoor access showed superior creativity scores versus structured groups. Your brain practiced generating ideas from scratch, fostering lifelong resourcefulness. On risk calibration, adventurous play exposes kids to manageable fears: height, speed, minor conflicts, building tolerance. Research by experts like Ellen Sansetter categorizes risky play, high climbs, rough play, as vital for anti-anxiety effects. Exposure teaches physiological arousal is survivable, lowering baseline worry. A review found children with more risky opportunities display reduced fear responses as adults. Your scraped knees were lessons in resilience. I fell, hurt, recovered, proof I can handle more. This extends to emotional risks. Negotiating friendships without adult mediation honed social calibration. Regarding solitude capacity, pre-smartphone life meant unavoidable alone moments, walking home, waiting for friends. Studies contrast eras. Digital natives show higher discomfort with unstimulated time, linked to anxiety spikes. One infamous experiment had participants choose shocks over silence. Many did. But 70s cohorts, accustomed to internal entertainment, find reflection nourishing. This analog mindset supports mindfulness-like benefits, clearer thinking, reduced reactivity. Analog patience built through tangible weights, saving allowance weeks for toys, anticipating Saturday cartoons. Delayed gratification correlates with success metrics, higher SATs, better health. Modern binge culture erodes this. You retain the edge of appreciating buildup. Unsupervised autonomy. Free-range childhoods, common then, align with Ainsworth's secure explorers, venturing far yet securely attached. Research on independence grants shows enhanced locus of control, believing actions shape outcomes, fueling motivation. Peter Gray's work notes decline in free play parallels rising youth mental health issues. 70s kids benefited from the opposite. These traits interlink via secure attachment. Trusting. Caregivers allowed bold exploration, building competence and relatedness satisfaction, core needs per self-determination theory. In chaos, your calm derives from proven self-efficacy. Creativity flows from boredom mastery, patience from delayed joys, solitude from non-digital norms, autonomy from trusted freedom. You're equipped with rare depth in thought, relationships, endurance. Reflecting peers often share, "We had the best, freedom without fear," or "It made us tough yet kind." Psychology validates that era's blend, secure bonds plus independence, produced uniquely capable adults. There's an undeniable magnetism to those who grew up in the 1970s, a quiet confidence, a grounded resilience, and a way of navigating life that feels almost timeless in a world that's constantly accelerating. Psychology, especially the pioneering work of Mary Ainsworth on attachment theory, helps explain why this generation carries something so distinctive. If your childhood unfolded during that decade, you were shaped in an extraordinary window of human history, a rare blend of vast personal freedom, genuine responsibility, and emotional security that simply doesn't exist in the same way today. Many who came of age then look at modern childhood with a gentle, knowing smile, not out of superiority but from deep recognition of what was lost. They remember drinking from garden hoses, disappearing on bikes all day, and coming home only when the streetlights glowed. They often say things like, "We didn't realize how perfect it was," or "That was real freedom," or even, "We were feral in the best possible way." It wasn't chaos or neglect. It was a delicate balance where parents provided a steady emotional foundation while trusting kids to explore the world on their own terms. Mary Ainsworth's research, particularly her strange situation studies conducted around that very time, revealed something profound about human development. She showed that when caregivers are reliably responsive yet encourage independence, children develop what she called secure attachment. This creates a secure base, a deep inner confidence that the world is safe enough to explore boldly, knowing support is there if needed. In the 1970s, societal norms often mirrored this ideal almost perfectly. Parents were present and loving, but they weren't hovering. They set clear boundaries, enforced real consequences, and then stepped back, allowing kids to venture far and wide. The result? Adults who carry exceptional emotional strength, self-reliance, and calm under pressure. Qualities backed by decades of longitudinal research showing securely attached individuals experience lower anxiety, better relationships, and greater life satisfaction. One of the most powerful strengths this era built was an extraordinary capacity for independent initiative and creative problem-solving. It often started with a simple parental phrase every 70s kid knew by heart. "Go outside and find something to do, or I'll find something for you." Complaining about being bored was risky. It usually led to chores. So children learned quickly to entertain themselves, to invent entire worlds from nothing. Without screens, scheduled activities, or constant adult direction, the day was a blank canvas. You'd ride your bike for miles exploring new streets, build forts in the woods from fallen branches and imagination, turn empty lots into battlegrounds or racetracks, or lose whole afternoons in books that transported you to distant galaxies. Research on unstructured play confirms how transformative this was. Studies comparing children from low-structure eras like the 1970s to more modern, highly scheduled cohorts show dramatic differences in executive function. The brain's control center for planning, focus, flexibility, and innovation. Neuroimaging reveals stronger connections in the prefrontal cortex among those who grew up inventing their own entertainment. Creativity tests, such as the Torrance tests, consistently show higher scores in originality and elaboration among adults from less directed childhoods. You didn't wait for inspiration or instruction. You generated it from silence, from open fields, from boredom itself. That ability to create meaning and purpose out of emptiness became wired into your neurology. It's why even now you can walk into complex situations and start generating solutions while others are still looking for guidance or apps to tell them what to do. This creative independence naturally flowed into another rare gift, a finely tuned sense of risk and unshakable emotional resilience. Growing up in the 70s meant real physical adventure, climbing trees that were definitely too tall, building ramps to jump with bikes, no helmets of course, playing rough games that left bruises, experimenting with fireworks in backyards, or swimming in creeks without lifeguards. Every fall, every scrape, every near miss was a direct lesson from the world itself. Parents rarely rushed in unless blood was serious. Instead, kids learned through experience what hurt, what was thrilling, and what was truly dangerous. Experts like Ellen Sandsater have studied risky play across cultures and found it essential for healthy development. Children who engage in activities involving height, speed, or rough-and-tumble play develop more accurate fear calibration. They learn the difference between exciting and life-threatening. Longitudinal studies, including the famous Dunedin research tracking thousands over decades, link childhood exposure to manageable physical risks with significantly lower rates of anxiety disorders in adulthood. Your nervous system was trained through lived experience. Heart pounding on a high branch, adrenaline from a fast downhill ride, pain from a fall, and then recovery. Over time, this built a deep physiological trust that most stressors are survivable. Scars became stories, proof of capability. It's no wonder you can now step into crises, job losses, family emergencies, unexpected challenges, and remain calm, methodical, focused, while others panic. Your brain doesn't overreact because it's seen real risk, survived it, and grown stronger. But perhaps one of the most underrated strengths from that era is a profound comfort with solitude and inner quiet. Before smartphones, social media, or constant notifications, being alone was inevitable, and not something to escape. You'd spend hours in your room listening to records, lying in the grass staring at clouds, walking home from school without earbuds, or just sitting and thinking. There was no device demanding attention every few minutes. Boredom wasn't treated as an emergency to be fixed instantly. Modern studies comparing pre-digital and digital native generations reveal striking differences. People who grew up before constant connectivity show far greater tolerance for being alone with their thoughts. In one famous experiment, participants chose mild, electric shocks over sitting quietly for just 15 minutes, yet those from older cohorts often found the quiet restorative, even enjoyable. Your mind learned early that silence isn't empty. It's rich with possibility. Daydreaming, reflection, and internal dialogue became natural. This explains why you can wait in lines, sit in traffic, or spend evenings without entertainment and not feel agitated. You don't need constant external input to feel okay. That capacity for comfortable solitude has become a rare psychological asset in a world addicted to stimulation. Closely tied to this is a deep-seated patience that feels almost countercultural today. Everything in the 70s required waiting. Your favorite TV show aired once a week. No binge watching. You took photos on film and waited days to see if they turned out. You saved allowance for weeks to buy something special. Calling a friend meant dialing a rotary phone and hoping someone was home. Even music meant waiting for your song to come on the radio. This constant practice in delayed gratification wasn't accidental. It was the rhythm of life. The famous marshmallow experiments and their follow-ups demonstrated what psychologists have long known. The ability to wait for greater rewards predicts better impulse control, academic success, healthier relationships, and career achievement. Growing up in an analog world trained this muscle daily. Instant gratification wasn't an option, so anticipation became part of joy. You learned that good things often take time and that waiting can heighten appreciation. That's why fleeting digital rewards, likes, quick videos, same-day delivery, don't satisfy you the same way. You've tasted deeper fulfillment from earned outcomes, from build-up and payoff. And weaving all these strengths together is perhaps the most defining trait of all: true, unsupervised autonomy. By 8 or 9 years old, many kids left home after breakfast with one rule: be back before the streetlights come on. No one tracked your location, no check-in texts. You rode bikes miles away, explored construction sites, played in woods or creeks far from adult eyes, negotiated with friends, solved conflicts, made decisions, and faced natural consequences. A kind neighbor might offer lemonade after seeing you play all day. That was community, not suspicion. Research on childhood independence, including work by psychologists like Peter Gray, shows this freedom dramatically enhances intrinsic motivation, decision-making skills, and internal locus of control, the belief that your actions shape your outcomes. When children move freely and manage their own time and risks, they develop confidence in their judgment. Mary Ainsworth's secure attachment framework fits perfectly here. Because emotional needs were reliably met at home, kids felt safe venturing far, exploring boldly, and returning strengthened. Parents weren't buddies or managers. They were authorities who trusted growing competence. This autonomy wiring explains why you can plan complex projects, adapt to change, lead without constant feedback, and think critically without needing external validation. You're not helpless without guidance. You've practiced self-direction your whole life. When you sometimes feel out of step with today's world, its fragility, its need for constant reassurance, its fear of silence or delay, remember this: you're not outdated. You're carrying forward capabilities that are quietly going extinct. What looks like emotional distance is actually self-sufficiency. What seems like stubborn patience is disciplined strength. What appears as old-fashioned independence is profound resilience. You survived and thrived in a childhood that combined wild freedom with real structure, secure love with high expectations. For one brief, luminous moment in history, kids were allowed to be both civilized and untamed, protected yet empowered. Psychology confirms it built something extraordinary: adults with depth, calm, creativity, and courage rooted in real experience. Many from that era feel a quiet pride, saying, "I'm so grateful I grew up then," or "It was the best time to be a kid, no question." And the science agrees. If you're reading this and nodding along, remembering your own adventures under endless summer skies or winter streets glowing with streetlights calling you home, drop a comment below. Share your favorite memory of that freedom, or tell us why you think the 70s really were the golden age of childhood. And if this kind of psychology-backed reflection on what makes us who we are resonates with you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're just getting started exploring the hidden strengths that shape unbreakable minds. If you're a 70s kid nodding along, share below. What's your favorite memory of that freedom? And do you agree it was the ultimate era for growing up? If this psychology-backed dive into what makes your generation special resonated, like this video, subscribe for more content exploring human development and timeless strengths. We're diving deeper into what builds unbreakable minds.